In this section, I'm going to load employee data. I will load the data from an existing CSV file. The file is available online, so you can download it too. The CSV file contains data for 9 employees. I first need to read the CSV file in memory. I could write the code directly, but how do I make sure it behaves properly? Rather, I will start by writing a test method. I create an empty test named 9 CSV rows are red. You can see that Prompto is not too happy because it needs a body section, which does something, and a verifying section, which checks that everything is okay. In the body section, I first need to read the file in memory. But read all knows nothing about the CSV data structure. So how do I break down this text into rows and columns? Let's search for CSV in the documentation. There is a convenient read CSV method which returns a list of documents. So I can parse the CSV by writing CSV rows equals read CSV text. Now I can fill the verifying section where I will just check the row count. Let's run this. Cool. Now, maybe I need to verify a bit more than just the number of rows. How about I verify some data in the first row? So I read the first row and I verify the value of the first name field. Let's run this again. Good stuff. The next step is to define the employee category. Let's clear the editor. First, I need to create some minimal attributes. I'll start with employee ID. Notice the storable keyword here, which I need because I want to store this data. Now, first name and last name. There are many others, but let's code this gradually. Now I can create the employee category with the 3 above attributes. Now, back to my test. I can create an employee from the CSV row. That's convenient. I adjust my test accordingly. I run, and it works. Before carrying on, let's verify all the attributes, such as employee ID and last name. Oh, now the test fails. Employee ID is null. That's because I declared employee ID as an integer, but the CSV file is just plain text, so I need to convert the employee ID from text to integer. There's a bit more to it. Notice the uppercase here, which is not there. I cheated a bit earlier by not using the correct name. Now I run the test, and it works. I'm going to clear this growing test log. I could cover all the attributes now, but I'm more interested in storing and fetching the data. First, I need to create employees not just for the first row, but all rows. So I'm going to loop over the CSV rows as follows. I'm going to replace those 3 lines with those lines. Notice that this breaks my test temporarily. Now that I've done this, I take the opportunity to store each employee. Then I fetch all employees, and to bring back my test, I will fetch Nancy separately. I can't just write Nancy equals employees of 1 because employee is not a list, it's a cursor. But what I can do is fetch Nancy explicitly, and this restores my test. And it works. I forgot to verify the number of fetched employees. Let me do this now. Employees count equals 9. I run again, and it works. And again, and it works. I can run this test multiple times. The number of fetched employees will still be 9. This is because a test runs against an in-memory database which is cleared before each run. To make this code useful and runnable against a real database, I will now transfer it to a regular method. Here's the method. Store employees from CSV file, which takes two parameters, the path of the file to fetch and the encoding. I'm going to copy the useful code from the test above into the method body. And I replace the parameters accordingly. Now in the test, I can replace the lines of code by a call to the method. I can no longer verify the number of CSV rows, so I need to delete this offending line of code. I run, the test still passes. I'm going to rename it to, oh, by the way, there was a typo in there, to 9 employees are stored from CSV sample, which seems more appropriate. Now I'm about to do something quick and dirty to run the store employees from CSV file against a real database. The quick and dirty thing is I'm hard-coding the path to the sample CSV file into a real method. You should never do that. Going back to the Project Explorer, there is a Data button which opens a Data Explorer. The data store I'm interested in is Data, where Prompto stores the data managed by my application. I'm going to query all employees, and there is no data at this point. I go back to the project editor and I select the store employee from CSV sample method. I run it on the server, success, and now if I go back to data and I fetch, here are the 9 employees from the CSV sample. Wow, that's pretty cool. In just a few minutes and a dozen lines of code, I'm able to import data in a database and query it. I'm able to test my code in the browser and run it on the server without any change. This is awesome. In the next section, I will import the data from within my application and I will display it.